fall asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no, it's no more, no.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you haven't reached your goals this year, or even if you've fallen off track, it's not because you're unmotivated or even lazy. It's because you don't have the right system, sis. And it's not too late to make your 2023 goals a reality. The only problem is you need a system to get you there that actually works. I want you to watch this video so you can finish the year strong and actually achieve what you set out for. So join me as we reset for this new quarter. I'm going to be sharing that system with you as I go through it for myself as we plan Q4 and reset for the fall. First, I want you to tune into your inner Miss Cleo and have a vision. So first, we're going to realign with what is our larger than life vision. What are those moon goals, those large goals that we're actually working towards, so that we can set up our 12-week year with success, moving towards that vision that we have in mind. So what I do is I go back to the goal planner that's in the beginning of the Modern Vision Planner, which I've actually moved to the back. So you have that freedom to move things around in the planner because there is a binder in the center. So I go through, I just take a look at my vision board. I go back and kind of revisit some of those really critical pages in the goal planner. I look at my moon goals. So those are just basically those larger than life goals you have for the year, why I want those goals, why I'm still motivated. Reacquainted myself with my larger than life vision. I want you to take a moment to do the same thing. Remind yourself what is the actual end goal that you're working towards before you actually set out to plan this 12-week year. So once you've done that, taking a look at your goal planner or wherever you've kept your vision, I want you to ask yourself, do I keep falling into the same pitfalls that make me steer off track with my goals? Think about when you have fallen off track with your goals in the last quarters, or has it been for some of the same reasons? And in thinking about that, that leads me to the next part of the system, which is before you dive into planning this 12-week year, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the last quarter so you can take any needed lessons you have with you into this next quarter so you don't keep making the same mistakes. So I'm going to do that with you. I'm going to look and reflect on my last quarter and see how I did with my goals and any lessons that I want to take with me. Let's go through. So first, I will reacquaint you guys with my yearly goals. Is to prioritize my joy, happy family life, increasing profit in my business, connecting more overall with new people and people in my family and my friends, and reading more. So those are my moon goals. And then my intention for this past quarter was a summer awakening. I wanted to have spiritual growth, flourishing, and more joy. If you had a chance to watch my Revelations in France video, I will definitely say that that happened for me. As far as my intention for this past quarter, there were so many revelations, so many mantras, so many lessons learned with my grandmother passing. So spiritual or summer awakening definitely happened. My mantra for this quarter was to be for real. I ended up realizing that I was burned out last quarter, kind of mid-quarter, and I think maybe I even knew that going into the quarter if that was my mantra, but I just wanted to plan more realistically, which was actually really, really helpful. And then my priority this quarter was my joy, which I think I was able to kind of recenter my life, my hustle around that priority, which was nice. So let's jump into if I actually achieved these quarterly goals. So my first quarterly goals all centered around my moon goal of prioritizing my joy. So the first one was a dry Q3, Pilates studio classes, and to be more mindful. So dry Q3, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a yes on that I was able to do that. I only drank like when we went to, date night, or I drank when we were in France, but those things were kind of planned. That's kind of was my intention. So outside of date nights and outside of my vacation, I didn't want to be like drinking and on a daily basis at home. And that has gone well, and it's kind of stuck beyond just the quarter. It's just kind of a lifestyle change because I'm sleeping better, my skin is better, and I didn't really want to have that crutch of like, at the end of the night I need to have me a glass of wine. I didn't like that feeling. Pilates studio, I'm up to 2 times a week. Next week I'm starting to go 3 times a week. It's one of those things that once you pay for, you definitely make sure that you go. So it actually hasn't been a hard goal. And then being more mindful has been happening because of some homework that I'm doing with my therapist that's been assigned by my therapist, as well as I've been doing doing more thought meditation. So as part of my morning routine, I would usually just sit down and do whatever type of meditation that I liked in my insight timer. But now I've been more purposely doing mindfulness of thought meditation just to detach from my thoughts, realign with my true identity as a higher spirit, and re-identify with the God that lives inside of us all, instead of being so connected to my thoughts, kind of putting some space between me and my thoughts. My second moon goal, yes, was happy family life, and I wanted to do a France vlog, 2 France vlogs, and a vacation photo book. Not so much. So the vacation photo book, I mentioned this in the live that I did on Friday. I have actually changed that to a yearly book, because once I actually favorited all the pictures I was going to put in the book, I didn't have that many photos to make like a nice book from our vacation. I had a lot of videos, which ended up being in that vlog, and I only did 1 vlog. So I'm going to give myself like 50% on that goal. For increasing profit, I wanted to increase my email value, increase my YouTube creativity, have more fun in my business, which I think I was able to do. The email value, I'm now sending 1 email a week to my newsletter that's just pure value. It's not really asking for anything or promoting any video or anything. It's like so if you want to sign up, you can sign up below. I have an easy recipe each week for busy women or men. I have a productivity hack that's in there. So it's just like just value as a thank you to my newsletter subscribers. So that is a check. Increasing creativity in my YouTube videos. I have been trying to do that more and more, which I feel like is a check. I'm proud of myself. And that, and having fun in my business as well. I hired a VA that didn't end up working out, but I have found some other ways beyond just my YouTube videos and my short form content by creating systems to have more fun with it, so it's not so like hustle trying to create content all the time. And then connecting more, hitting 3K subscribers on YouTube and weekly YouTube lives. I have not hit 3K subscribers on YouTube, so that will be a continued goal, but I am pretty close. So thank you guys so much for subscribing, the ones that have. And if you haven't, if you want to help me reach that goal, please hit that subscribe button. But I think I'm at like 2,800. Actually really happy with the progress on that. And then weekly YouTube lives. Ever since I got back from vacation, I have been doing that pretty consistently. And then read more. I want to finish the book Covenant of Water. I finished that on vacation, as well as the author's original book, Cutting Through Stone. Check and check. I actually overdid it on that. That book is both books are really long, so I didn't know if I was gonna finish it, but it got so good I was just like kind of forced to finish it. I mean, I kept wanting to read. I was actually like staying up later than I should to finish that book. It was so good. I'm reading a new book now. It's the Oprah's Book Club wellness book. So basically Oprah is just telling me what to read. So if your attention has strayed, I want you to come back to me, pay attention, because now we're going to get into the actual meat and potatoes of our Q4 planning. So now let's shoot for the start. So not only are we going to capitalize on the start of a new 12-week year and having that motivation of starting a new quarter, a new 12-week year, but we're going to capitalize on the urgency of it being the last 12-week year of 2023. And I really want you to think about how you can plan this quarter with sustainability in mind, but also pushing yourself knowing that it's being the last quarter. So how can you sustainably hustle and give your all this last quarter to really push yourself to get closer to those moon goals that you have for 2023? So just take a second, close your eyes, and really envision yourself on January 1st, 2024. And really think about yourself looking back over the last quarter of 2023 and feeling so much pride for yourself. Just take a moment to envision what it would feel like. What would it feel like to just be so proud of what you did in this last quarter, no matter the results? Okay, so now that you've done that, let's move into planning Q4. So I've already taken a refill packet from my inventory. Essentially, if you have the Mod Ambition Goal Planner, you can get refill inserts at a much lower cost than actually buying the planner again. So I've already taken that and inputted it into my Mod Ambition planner. Okay, so let's plan this new quarter. Let's start with my intention for this new quarter is to finish the year strong and be consistent with my goals. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to move closer to these moon goals that I have for 2023. What I want for myself is to be consistent because I know that I can follow the systems that I have in place for myself. So even though I don't have my VA anymore because that wasn't working out, I created all these systems in the background to support that VA. I updated other systems that I had for my last assistant. So really things are pretty easy. I have lots of templates for short form. I know how to create my YouTube videos more succinctly and to get what I want out of them. So now it's just about doing it. So that's my intention for the quarter, and so I can really finish the year strong. What is your intention for this quarter? Take a moment if you want to pause this video and either fill out your Modern Ambition planner or your journal or your own planner and think about, what do you intend for this quarter? What's your major intention to use these last 12 weeks of the year? Okay, now let's move on to thinking about, what are we excited for? I'm excited for this quarter, definitely the holidays and time off and family time. I have created a free holiday prep guide if you want to get holiday ready with me, that I will link in the description below. It's just a guide, it's some checklist in there as well to help you take the stress out of the holidays and actually enjoy it instead of just surviving the holidays, especially if you're a mom. So I'm excited for the holidays. I'm excited for the holiday card. We gonna be satin. We have our little formal theme going this year, which last year we did like jeans and what did we do? I'll put a picture up, but a white, we all had white button down. So that was cute, but I'm excited for like the formal one. The Thanksgiving, I'm not cooking this year. We're going to a friend's house, so that's exciting. I'm probably gonna cook something to bring, obviously, but I don't have to cook the whole dinner. Just having time off, family time. The kids are older now, so for me, I enjoy the time after the newborn stage. So the newborn stage for me was really, really hard, even during the holidays, because it was just a grind. What are you excited for this quarter? I'm thinking also the holidays. What holiday are you most excited for? Is it Halloween? Is it Thanksgiving? Do you have any traditions? Like someone told me about another holiday. I think it's Three Kings that they celebrate. What are you most excited for this quarter? Okay, now let's move into our wins from last quarter. My wins from last quarter were definitely our vacation to France. If you haven't had a chance to watch my Revelations in France vlog video, I recommend that you watch it. It's really quick, and it kind of shares some of the revelations that I had if you just have a moment. I was pretty consistent on YouTube, which I'm happy about. That's part of my goals, to kind of build community, to meet more people, to share my knowledge, all those things. So I'm happy that I've been able to stay consistent with that. And I'm also happy with staying consistent with therapy. I've had some really helpful therapy sessions this past quarter. I'm very grateful for my therapist. Now let's move into also just as important, what are our lessons from last quarter? My first lesson from last quarter was to push but don't burn out. So you'll see my word of the year. I have changed since the beginning of the year and added another word. My word of the year initially was push. It has turned into push realistically. So I was pushing myself the first quarter almost from a frantic, I'm not doing enough, I'm not enough kind of underlying belief. Once I did the conscious work to realize that, I started to maybe push myself more creatively. And then I had to kind of think about, what do I want this word of the year to mean for me now? Once I realized that I had burned myself out, it came to be realistic. So finding that balance of pushing myself, but also accepting the season of life I'm in as a mom of 2 toddlers, as a wife, as a full-time neuropsychologist, as a content creator. I'm only one person. There's only so much I can do. So yes, I want to push myself, but I don't want to push myself into the ground or into the grave. Okay. I also had a lesson, this came from therapy, of really focusing on the personal gaze. So this basically means, like, in my 20s, I focused a lot on like the male gaze, like impressing men and like dress and wanting to meet a guy when I went out. And like, I probably wouldn't have admitted it, but I did a lot, I think, for the male gaze, and also just for the academic gaze. I got my bachelor's, then I got my master's, then I got my PhD. So achievement, academic achievement, achievement tied a lot into like my identity, my sense of worth, my happiness, all of those things. And then in my 30s, you know, being a mom, being a wife, you do everything for your kids, for your family, trying to build a legacy, create a legacy so I can give them something, all these things. And it's like, what about just like doing things for myself? What about just doing things that just please me, that aren't about achieving, that aren't about taking care, that aren't about others' gaze? What about my own gaze? And so that was a lesson, a revelation actually that I had from therapy. And then again, just being realistic, pushing realistically, setting really realistic goals, being realistic with my time blocking, with my weekly planning, with my my expectations for myself, all those things. I also kind of noted where I feel like I am as far as progress for each of my yearly goals, so I can know which one I really need to focus on for this last quarter. I'm pretty much at most of my goals for the year, except for this increasing profit, which you will see impacted a lot of my quarterly planning. So before we move on, take a moment to do that for yourself. Look at the lessons that you learned from last quarter and also kind of assess where you are with each of your yearly goals for 2023. So now let's get into actually my intentions and more specifically what I want to see this quarter, starting with my mantra for this quarter. My mantra for this quarter really leans from those lessons. I want to compete with myself, so less comparing like when I'm scrolling on social media, just really focusing on my own journey, focusing on myself and the personal gaze, as I mentioned earlier. What are your mantras this quarter? Maybe even do the same thing. Look at your lessons and based on what you learned, what can be a few mantras that you have for yourself this quarter. Now let's move into priorities for this quarter. My priority this quarter are definitely holiday memories. My daughter's birthday is November 2nd. Obviously Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, we already have our costumes. All those yummy family memories are going to be my priority. And then promoting my planner. What is your priority this quarter? What do you really want to buckle down on? And then lastly, what are you saying yes to and what are you saying no to this quarter? For me, I'm saying yes to consistency. So just, I don't have to be perfect, but I want to be consistent. That's actually on my vision board. I'm focusing on joy, being happy, moving slowly, intentionally pushing myself, but realistically so that I can kind of maintain that joy. And then present family time and resting when it's time to rest. What I'm saying no to this quarter is definitely burnout, comparing myself, and not showing up for myself. So just like I pushed myself to be realistic with my time, I also don't want to allow myself to drop the ball. I want to show up for myself and my goals, but I don't want to burn out and I don't want to compare myself because comparing myself leads to like judging myself. All right, so let's move into our quarterly goals after you've decided what you're saying yes to this quarter and what are you saying no to. Okay, so under my moon goal of prioritizing my joy, I have 4 different goals, quarterly goals: competing only with myself, realistic goals, increasing my cardio, and 3-hour self-care blocks. I think the main piece under that one that I need to work on is increasing my cardio and the 3-hour self-care blocks. The cardio piece is, I feel like when I'm on the treadmill, I'm not really going as hard as I can because I don't know, I haven't been in the groove of just pushing myself in cardio, and I feel like I'm ready to do that, like move into the next phase of actually like dripping down with sweat after I get off the treadmill. Like now I get off, I'm sweating, but I'm really playing around if I'm honest with myself. And then my 3-hour self-care blocks on Sunday, I just want to be more consistent with. And then happy family life, we want to do our holiday card, holiday celebrations, go to the pumpkin patch, Layla's birthday party, and our photo book. And most of those are just kind of already on the calendar. They're going to happen regardless. The main thing that I would need to be mindful about is doing actually the year photo book. Okay, so my goals for increasing profit are sticking to my short form content and promotional calendar, starting my Facebook ads campaign, promoting my Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, my 3-hour strategic block. So if you follow the 12-week year, the 3-hour strategic block is just making sure in your calendar that you have 3 hours that's not busy work, that's not to-do tasks, that's time that you can actually be strategic about your goals, your business. It's just like you can get into a flow state of working, and it's not just minimal task, if I'm saying that right. And then edit my email flows. I have some email flows that I want to edit. Those are my 5 goals for increasing my profit. And then when it comes to connecting more, my goals are to check on my girlfriends more. So call my girlfriends. I'm pretty good with FaceTiming my family each week. Oh, that reminds me, I should probably do that. And then to hit 3K subscribers on YouTube. And then reading more, I want to finish the book Wellness that I started. I want to listen to What I Know for Sure on Audibles. It's the book by Oprah, which I just wanted to give a listen. And then I have this book by Alex Hermosi, I think is his name. Everyone just says it's a good book. I had started reading it. I don't remember it being great, but I want to finish it because I bought it. So $1 Million Offers. So that'll be kind of the nonfiction book that I read. So those are my quarterly goals. Take a moment and plan your own quarterly goals, but stay with me because I have just a few 12-week year reminders that are going to help you push and actually achieve those goals this year. But before I jump into those, if you're finding this information helpful, please smash that like button and be sure to hit subscribe. It really helps me stay motivated to bring you the best information on planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Okay, so I do have an entire video that I did on the 12-week year, breaking it down, giving a summary of the book, as well as I have a PDF linked below with the summary, as well as a template on how to use the 12-week year scorecard. But I just wanted to remind you, even if you know about the 12-week year, some things that are important to keep in mind. So first, you're going to plan your execution. First, you're going to decide on some monthly priorities, and those are going to be your lag goals. So your kind of larger overall monthly goals, right? And then under each of those monthly goals, you're going to decide on 3 lead goals, and those should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. They should be SMART goals. That's the acronym for each one of those 3 priorities for the month. So you have your quarterly goals, but what are you going to focus on in the month of October, and what are some things that you can actually measure that will help you move closer to each of those lag goals? I'll show you guys a picture as well on the screen of my 12-week year scorecard of how I'm actually prioritizing my monthly goals. I actually also did it on a live video Friday if you want to go back and watch that as well. You also want to make sure that you're adding buffer blocks to your schedule. This is something that this 12-week year really emphasizes because, things take longer than we think they're going to take. And if you want to plan realistically and actually, account for the time that you need to reach these goals, add buffers into your schedule instead of just filling it up and then feeling bad that you didn't get everything done. You want to also do your scorekeeping. Like I mentioned, I have a template for the 12-week year scorecard. For each of those lead goals, you want to be at least 85% each week so that you know that you're actually moving towards your goal. Join my accountability group on Fridays. I go live and we share goals and we hold each other accountable, fill out the 12-week year scorecard together. So counting the cost. So before you are deciding on these goals, make sure you're assessing the season of life that you're in and counting the cost of each one of the goals that you want to achieve. If you're hoping to grow 1,000 followers, let's say on Instagram, you're trying to grow your Instagram community, really think about how much it's going to take in order to do that, how much work it's going to take, and are you in the season of life that you can actually do that? I always mention the examples if you're a new mom or you're a caretaker for like an older parent, or if you yourself is sick, you might want to consider, well, maybe I can't do that now, maybe I can do that in the future, but maybe I can increase it by 300 or something like this. So really count the costs and compare that with your season of life. And then you want to act on commitments, not feelings. So I'm not saying to not accept your feelings. This is something that we preach in acceptance and commitment therapy as a psychologist. 100% accept your feelings. You don't want to avoid your feelings of like boredom, or if you're tired, unmotivated when it comes to having to do a certain task. However, accepting them doesn't mean you let them rule your life. You still want to say, okay, this is how I'm feeling, but what other values do I have? What am I working towards? What's most important to me in my life? How can I carry these feelings with me and do what I want to do anyway? So you can bring in other feelings to sit beside that boredom or that unmotivation. You maybe can bring in feelings of pride to be part of your experience as well, because after you do it, you feel good about yourself. So act on commitments. What have you committed yourself to, and not on just how you're feeling in the moment. So think about long-term gratification, not instant gratification. And like I said, if you want a full video on the 12-week year system, I've teed up a video I did for you on the 12-week year for you to watch next. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. And until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.